Welcome back to Grim Tale Teller, where the line between flesh and fantasy blurs into something truly unsettling. I'm your host, peeling back the layers of the wild, mind-shattering tales you send to grimtaleteller@gmail.com, stories that push the edges of what we dare to imagine. Tonight, a 2025 submission from Kira, a 26-year-old tattoo artist whose art turned into a nightmare that defies reality itself. Inspired by the dark allure of body modification, this tale dives into a madness where ink becomes a gateway to horrors untold. True encounter with a cursed pigment or a mind lost to its own creations? You decide. Got a story that chills the bone or twists the soul? Send it to grimtaleteller@gmail.com. Subscribe, dim the lights, and let the fire's glow guide you into the abyss. This is Kira's tale of the Ink Abyss. I'm Kira, 26, a tattoo artist who lives for the needle's hum and the stories etched into skin. By mid-November 2025, I'd built a solid rep in Portland, inking everything from delicate flowers to tribal scars. A new client walked in, tall, pale, with eyes that didn't blink, carrying a vial of ink he called Living. He wanted a full sleeve, said it'd reveal my true self. I laughed it off, prepped my station, and started the outline, unaware the first prick would unleash a nightmare that'd rewrite who I am. The needle hit his skin, and the ink flowed, black, shimmering like it pulsed. I chalked it up to a trick of the light, but as I shaded, the lines moved, curling into shapes, faces, hands, scenes I hadn't drawn. He grinned. "It's working." And I felt a chill. The room grew heavy. My hands shook as the ink spread beyond the stencil, creeping up his arm like veins. Clients in the shop stared, whispering, but he just sat there, eyes unblinking, as if he knew what was coming. By the third hour, the sleeve was done, a chaotic mural of eyes and mouths shifting under his skin. He paid, left, and I cleaned up. But the next day he was back, skin peeling, revealing raw flesh where the ink had burrowed. "More," he rasped, and I saw it. His arm twitched, a hand from the tattoo reaching out, clawing at the air. I wanted to stop, but my hands moved, adding layers, the ink burning my fingers. That night I dreamed of his face, split open, laughing, and woke to find my own arm marked with a faint outline. Same design, same pulse. I scrubbed my arm raw, but the outline deepened, ink seeping from my pores like sweat. Clients noticed, asking for the living ink, bringing their own vials, each one different, each one alive. I inked them, and the shop turned into a gallery of horror. A biker with a dragon that roared, tearing his chest open, a mom carving her thigh, muttering about lost kids. The ink spread, driving them to acts I couldn't unsee, knives flashing, skin flayed, all to release the memories it showed. I tried to quit, but the needle called, my hands betraying me. One night, a client, a quiet guy, screamed as his tattoo, a forest, grew thorns that pierced his neck. Blood dripped, and he laughed. "It's my rebirth," before collapsing. The ink on my arm pulsed harder, and I saw flashes, his life, his death, mine overlapping. I locked the shop, but the next morning my mirror showed a new design. My face split, with eyes I didn't recognize staring back. The whispers started then, soft at first, urging me to carve my truth. I resisted, taping my hands to stop the itch, but the whispers grew, voices from the ink, each client's begging, commanding. My arm burned. The design spread, a sleeve of faces, all mine but different. Younger, older, scarred. I inked a canvas to test it, and the ink moved, forming a scene. Me, holding a blade over someone's throat, blood pooling. I dropped the needle, but my reflection smirked, raising an invisible knife. The shop phone rang. Clients demanding more, their voices warped, pleading for release through pain. I caved, tattooing a teen who brought her own ink. As I worked, her skin split, revealing a second face beneath, screaming. She clawed at it, tearing flesh, and I saw her memory, abandoning a child now etched in her skin. The ink on me pulsed, and I felt her guilt, her act, as if I'd done it. I ran home, but my bathroom mirror showed me carving my leg, blood dripping, the ink guiding the blade. I hadn't moved, yet the wound was real, shallow, but there. The whispers laughed. "You're the canvas now." I bandaged my leg, but the cut healed overnight, the ink sealing it with a new design, a skull with my eyes. Clients kept coming, each session worse. A man slicing his back to free a tattooed soldier, a woman gouging her arms, crying about a betrayal she'd inked. The ink spread to them all, a contagion, and I was its source. My sleeve grew, faces multiplying, each whispering to life. Murders, abandonments, sins I'd never committed but now owned. I researched online, urban legends of living ink from the 1800s, artists driven mad, carving themselves to death. The whispers mocked, "Join us!" And I saw it. My hands, ink in my chest, a heart splitting open. I locked myself in, but the needle appeared, rolling across the floor, and my arm moved, tracing lines. The pain was sharp, blood mixed with ink, and a new face emerged, mine, but older, grinning. I passed out, waking to a shop full of clients, all marked, all chanting my name, their skin peeling to reveal more designs. I tried to flee, but the door wouldn't budge. The windows showed my shop, endless, filled with tattooed figures. The whispers merged into one voice, mine, but deeper, commanding, "Finish the canvas." My chest burned. The ink had carved a spiral, and when I touched it, I saw their lives. A client stabbing a lover, another burying a secret, each act now mine to relive. I clawed at my skin, but the ink held, growing thicker, pulsing like a second heartbeat. A client grabbed me, his arm a mess of open wounds where a tattooed face had escaped. "Help me," he begged, and I inked him again, the needle slicing deep, blood spraying. He smiled, collapsing, and his design, his death, etched onto my back. I screamed, but the voice laughed. "You're the artist." My mirror showed a crowd of me's, all inking, all bleeding, their eyes locked on mine. I blacked out, waking to my hands covered in blood, a new tattoo half done on my thigh, a head, severed, rolling away. I staggered to the sink, washing blood off, but the ink stained my hands, spreading up my arms. The shop was a slaughterhouse, clients carving each other, guided by their tattoos, heads rolling as rebirth rituals took hold. I tried to stop them, but my voice was the whisper, urging, "Cut deeper." My thigh's design pulsed, and I saw it. Me, wielding a blade, severing a head, the ink showing the act in vivid detail, blood soaking the floor. I locked myself in the bathroom, but the mirror reflected a gallery of faces, mine, but altered, each with a story of gore I'd lived. The whispers chanted, "Complete the cycle," and my hand moved, grabbing a razor. I fought it, but the blade nicked my wrist, ink flowing out, forming a new face, a child's crying. I remembered her, abandoned, killed, and the guilt wasn't mine, yet it crushed me. The door burst open. Clients dragged me back, their skin a mosaic of wounds, demanding I finish their art. I inked them, helpless, as they sliced themselves, arms, legs, faces, following the tattoo's commands. One man sawed his hand off, grinning, "It's free," and the ink on me showed his life, a thief, punished. My body ached. The designs covered me now, a full suit of others' sins, each pulse a memory of blood and betrayal. I tried to call for help, but my phone screen mirrored the tattoos, faces screaming. The whisper grew louder. "You're the source," and I saw it. A vision of me creating the ink, mixing blood and ash in a ritual I didn't recall. My hands moved, inking my neck, a noose forming, and I felt the pull, the urge to hang myself to reset. I fought, tying my arms, but the ink loosened the knots, guiding the rope. A client burst in, head half severed, begging for more, and I inked him, his blood mixing with mine, sealing my fate. The shop became a ritual ground. Clients chanting, carving, heads rolling as tattoos dictated rebirth. My neck's noose tightened. I saw my death, ink showing me hanging, then waking, a new face. The whisper explained, "Each death renews the canvas," and I relived it, strangling, gasping, reborn with a scar. My body was a map of their lives, their gore my art. I tried to burn the ink, lighting a match, but it absorbed the flame, growing darker. A client, now headless, rose, skin knitting, and I inked his stump, a new head forming, mine. I screamed, but the voice was theirs, commanding more. My mirror showed a cycle, me dying, reviving, inking, endless. The shop walls bled ink, faces pressing out, all mine, all theirs, a gallery of madness. I collapsed, ink flooding my veins, each heartbeat a tattoo's pulse. The clients were me, their bodies my canvas, heads rolling in a dance of rebirth I couldn't stop. The whisper sang, "You're the ink," and I saw it. My origin, a ritual where I mixed my blood, cursing myself. My hands carved my chest, a heart splitting, blood pooling, and I felt their deaths, stabbed, beheaded, all mine now. I tried to end it, slamming my head against the wall, but the ink healed me. A new face forming, grinning, cruel. The shop vanished. I stood in a void, mirrors reflecting me, all versions, all dying, all inking. The whisper laughed. Eternal artist. And I inked the air, a head rolling my own, starting the cycle again. I'm trapped, my last desperate grip on a reality slipping through my fingers like sand in an hourglass. The void pulses, ink coursing through my veins like poison, faces emerging from my skin in a grotesque tapestry. My reflection shows a dozen me's, inking, dying, reborn in an endless loop, a gallery of horrors where each gaze pierces my soul with judgment and despair. The whisper demands, "Keep creating," and my hands move against my will, carving a new head into my flesh, blood flowing freely, sealing my fate in crimson rivers that stain the ground. I hear their voices, clients, echoes of myself, chanting my rebirth in a chorus that drowns out my screams. The cycle repeats relentlessly. I hang from invisible threads, revive in agony, ink new designs that bring more pain, an eternity of torment without escape. My body's a canvas of their sins, heads rolling in my fractured mind, each one a memory I can't erase or forget, a weight that crushes my spirit. If you see living ink shimmering under the light, destroy it without hesitation. The abyss claims its artists, pulling them into its depths, and I'm lost forever in this nightmare of eternal creation, a prisoner of the needle's cruel embrace. And that's Kira's tale, an ink abyss that turned a tattoo artist into a prisoner of her own art, a cycle of gore and rebirth that defies sanity. Was it a cursed pigment, a self-inflicted curse, or a mind lost to its own creations? The whispers linger in the ink's pulse. Thanks to Kira for submitting at grimtaleteller@gmail.com, her cry from a canvas of madness. If this edgy horror gripped you, subscribe for more weekly terrors as 2025 ends. Like if you'd ink the design, or burn the needle, and share your darkest art tale below. New nightmares await. Stay tuned. Until then, check your skin for strange marks, and lock your doors against the ink that moves. This has been Grim Tale Teller. Good night. If the fire keeps the abyss at bay.